Hi everyone, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. First of all, happy Women's Day to all of you that are many around here. And also a happy day to all the women that we men have within. So let's begin today with our topic for today. That I was saying in Spanish that I'm getting crazy a little bit trying to explain the dimensions. I guess it's easier when I channel some beings sometimes. So some people were asking about what was the channeling yesterday. I have no idea which language that was, never asked. But it was not something for everyone. It was just a part of me in the sixth dimension that when I was just entering that concept and energy, it suddenly appeared and is a part of me in the sixth dimension that just show me things about myself projected and what I should not miss in what I do, and basically to put me in to give me the idea of why I should be coherent with all of you doing this. And also he or she, it gave me a seed of that hypercube to put it in the energy of the blue stones that I have on the earth. So it could be there as a code. Today, I can see that there is much more light in the room. Maybe it's because we are in the seventh dimension today. I don't know, but it's much more clear and nothing changed. It's all the same. I didn't touch anything. So today our topic is the seventh dimension related to the root chakra. So the weird thing is maybe for some of you, why to connect the seventh dimension, which is like very subtle and enlightened dimension related to the genitals. So that's what we are going to see today. So it's getting me crazy because explaining multidimensionality with this, it breaks my head to try to find the ways from where you can touch it. Guys, just a moment that I am organizing the ideas in my head. So now, let's begin with the original points. For those who doesn't have the idea of the constant of time and space, I explained this yesterday, so you can check the video from yesterday. So remember the constant of time and space. So here we have the lines of time and space, and we will have here the different lines of time and the different lines of space. Remember that this line here is called the first dimension. So these lines like this is what we call the second dimension. Then we will have here this other line that will make the third dimension. See? So these crossing lines of the first dimension, the second dimension, and the third dimension will be the lines creating a node. This is a node of time and space. Let's see if I can draw it this. So now, coming from the first dimension, this bending here, this curvature, the corners from one to another, will be the fourth dimension, which is the bending of the time and space. So this bending is the ones that we will call past, present, and future. So now we go to another thing. So all this structure is being held and observed by its angles. Can you see the eyes of the angles? So each one of these angles will be called the fifth dimension. So the fifth dimension will be the one holding the logics of everything that is happening here. So where is the sixth dimension? Is in the fractalization of this. So the time and space lines are moving, creando so this starts to create fractalization. And it goes multiplying once and again, once and again. It multiplies once and again, multiplying, creating different structures. Okay? Can you see how many we start to create? We start to have 1, 2, 3, 4, because before we have only 8 as a cube, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the other side. We have 8 crosses of time and space. But when we go into the sixth dimension, multiply by many, it starts to replicate the shape as fractalization. So it starts to have much more crosses of time and space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, many options of time and space. Okay. So where is the seventh dimension? It's in the center of the entire structure, connecting each one of these nodes to the core, to the center of the structure. Can you see it? So what is happening here is that each one of the nodes of time and space, now they put all their pressure in the center. Okay? See? Do you have it? Because I'm going to erase it. So do you remember what happened when times of the crosses, the lines of time and space starts to bend, to spin? This happened. We create this structure. Okay, so imagine each one of these spinning and creating the bending of time and space. So now, when you start to turn and to make pressure, spinning, screwing like this, the time and space, when we bend time and space, the pressure is so much that creates energy. By energy, it creates matter. So the matter, imagine that each one of these dots is like a star, like a planet, a physical thing. So from the point of view of the sixth dimension, there are thousands of probabilities of matter, many of them. But from the point of view of the fifth dimension, they are all connected to the center, all connected to one. So this is a sphere. What is a sphere? It's a fractalic expression of a tetrahedron in the sixth dimension. Let's do it with a circle. Why a triangle is the basic shape of the universe? Why not other? Because when you want to shape anything, the first figure is a triangle always. Why is that? Because when you have in the first dimension a positive and the negative, these two are willing to get in touch, but they cannot, because this one must bend towards the other one. So it creates the second dimension. Okay, here we have the second dimension. But what happened with the second dimension? That these are not touching. This doesn't have any logics. Okay? So that's why they need a third option to connect them as one. That's why the Trinity is the base of everything. The triangle is the base of all the Platonic solids, so from all the figures and all the existence. Okay? So all the cultures in all existence, they talk about the Trinity, the Holy Trinity. And this is what explains the Holy Trinity. It's not the Holy Ghost and the Father and the Son or the Mother. No, this is just an interpretation of this, but this takes all the magics of it, of course. But basically, all the religions are based in this triangle. So how does this triangle to multiply itself? In order to multiply, it needs to add another one. So how it through the square. So it creates the square. So again, it will multiply by in 5 phases. So from the triangle goes to the square, from the square to the pentagon, from the pentagon to the hexagon. So now from this triangle goes to the square, from the square to the pentagon, from the pentagon to the hexagon, and from the hexagon it goes to 8 faces, 8 lines, 10 lines, and it starts to multiply and multiply and multiply more and more and more and more until suddenly you have a circle. So a circle is only in 2 dimensions. So a triangle multiplied by thousands creates a circle. But a circle multiplied by thousands creates a sphere. So if a triangle multiplied by thousands will create a circle, a tetrahedron multiplied by thousands will create a sphere. Where they multiply? In the 6th dimension by fractality. So if I am in a triangle willing to find the point of balance, I will have to trace a line from each one of the corners to the center, so I can have a powerful basis of this. So that's what creates the concept of a tetrahedron that, starting to be multiplied, will create the sphere. If this triangle was multiplied by thousands, so that means that there will be thousands of crosses. So in this multiplication of the triangles by thousands, now there is not only 3 that will hold the pattern, there will be billions and thousands of crosses all around. And that will create a point of tension called the core. The core. So if this is a sphere, this will be the core of a sphere. Meaning that the billions of angles of a sphere will be setting its pressure towards the core. As much more pressure, this means that the basis of the matter, the electrons, starts to vibrate faster and faster because of friction and pressure that they are having. So this is why it starts to get hotter inside. When they move faster, they start to heat. So this means that when much pressure a sphere is having, this means much more atmospheres it has, it will create so much pressure that the electron will create a lot of heat, like in the core of the sun or in the core of the planet of Earth. So as much more energy or much more pressure, the electrons create much more energy. And that's why they starts to expand so much that they create light. So this is why when we see lava, the magma of a volcano pouring out of a mountain, of a volcano, we see light. The rocks, they melt and they produce light. How can a rock produce light? It's because of the pressure and the electrons trying to get out. So they have such heat that they produce energy and light. Okay? So this means that the pressure of a star, of a planet, is so much that creates so much energy inside by the friction that it enlightens. So the core of a sun, the core of a star, the core of a planet is enlightened, light. So now we have seen this from the point of view of the third dimension. Let's see it from the point of the sixth dimension. So now from the sixth dimension, this is not just matter. This is options of time and space. So many options, thousands of options of possibilities that they all coexist. So let's say that every time-space line that are holding a reality in the sixth dimension, creating many options, they all set so much pressure to the core of this transformation that inside we have light. This pressure, this hold from here, that in the third dimension we call energy, in the sixth dimension we call it illumination. What is the energy? Is the friction of all the forces of three dimensions. What is illumination? Is the joint of the forces of six dimensions. In the third dimension, these three directions create 6 points of direction. This one here, 1 and 2. This one here, 1, 2. This one here, 1 and 2. So 6. In order to create energy, we need the 6 directions of the third dimension. Does remember that we spoke about them, the 6 directions, many time ago? Do you remember these 6? Vibration, energy and matter, love, wisdom and will. 6 directions. So in the 6th dimension, in order to get enlightenment, illumination, we need to go through 6 dimensions. So the 6 dimensions gives us 12 directions. 12 directions. So now these 12, what are they? Are the attributes, the 12 zodiac signs that we are using. I can, I see, I believe, I use, I create. Okay? The different attributes of me in the 12 zodiac signs, the ones we are using as mantras every month. Okay? So now, when I get to go through all the path and integrate all the attributes of the self, I can, I see, I know, I believe, I use. When I activate these 12 attributes, I enlighten myself in the center. And that's the moment when you go to the 7th dimension. So what this means is that if you want to enlighten yourself from the 3rd dimension, you will have to integrate all the aspects of all the possibilities of your times and spaces and transcend them as one. So a little bit complicated, but we can do it. this doesn't mean that we cannot do it. We can do it. So the seventh dimension is the path of enlightenment. So in order to get into this energy, you need a lot of pressure. That's why it's so heavy, so complicated to reach it. So now what happened? That it's very difficult and it takes a lot of pressure to get to the core, to the enlightenment. But once you reach there, what happened? That all the forces that are pressing you suddenly disappear, because all the forces together equals 0. So in order to reach the enlightenment of the seventh dimension, I need to go through the process of the pressure of all the timelines and all the spaces. So when I go there, when I do that, when I go straight to the center, to the point, I don't feel much pressure. I don't feel the pressure anymore. I feel free from that. I said here that we have 12 paths that activate the attributes of the me, of I. So as you see here, we have these 12 paths. And these 12 paths are what we call the 7 rays. The white ray, the blue ray, the pink ray, the orange ray, the golden ray, all the rays that we used to call from where the masters talked to us, like the masters from the white ray, or like that. So the masters takes the power from the archangels. The archangels are 12, the main ones, and they are not beings of the exactly like people being like archangels. They are attributes of one. The one is the potential of the enlightenment within, and we have 12 rays around coming from the 6th dimension, projected from the 6th dimension, that are the potentials. That's why they are called the potestats, the potentials. Okay, so the archangels are not real beings with human aspect. The archangels are attributes of light of the 7 rays. That's why we call him Uriel, which means the light of God. El is God. Gabriel, the power of God. Michael, who like God, and so on. Raphael, the physician of God. So those are the attributes, okay? The attributes of the divine. So those are the 12 rays that create what we used to know in spirituality, the 12 rays. And these 12 rays come from the 7th dimension. Okay. So when we ask to the archangels, we are not asking to an outer being outside. We are asking or talking to an attribute or of ourselves in the 7th dimension that project us here. So basically, we can say, for example, that we are a projection. So here we have the divine, potential, the potestats, the archangels, the angels, the masters, the guides, and us. So with this picture here, we can say that there are not different beings. There are different echoes of myself. So I would be like the last echo of many other beings. Okay. So now we go to this vision here. So now, why are we looking for illumination? Why do we look for that? So in order to understand why we are looking for enlightenment, we have to compare ourselves with this. So I wrote about that today in the blog. So if you want to go deep on it, you can check it. The reason why we are willing to go to the seventh dimension, to the enlightenment, is because the seventh dimension is the one that holds the potential of creation itself, is the seed, the nectar of it. So if we are willing to become creators ourselves, what we have to do is to go into the seventh dimension to reach the power that allows us to create. So you see, enlightenment is not an end, a goal, is a part of the process. So let's compare this with something very earthy. So in order to see better, we will see all these dimensions from here, like if they were a flower. So what is a flower? A flower is a fractal of a sphere, but in the third dimension. According to the color of the flower, we are going to be channeling one information specifically for one ray. So in order to understand this, we will compare it with other things. I think that today I'm going to speak too much. I will speak too much, but it's the seventh dimension, it deserves it. Do you remember about the curvature, time, and space? You remember about this, about the curvature, time, and space? Time, space. When time and space bend, they create gravity, and that gives matter. So the strength of this matter connects to one of the rays of the seventh dimension. If this weight is by vibration connected to the seventh ray, to the seventh dimension through the violet ray, the purple ray, so that planet or that star will have the attribute of the purple ray, the violet. Do you remember that there are other nodes here? So these other nodes are flying around like planets around this weight, this heaviness. So imagine that these planets, this is the sun, so we are taking the energy of the sun, like here we have Earth, Venus, Mars, Mercury. So how do we get the energy of the sun? We take its energy to create life. So we storage that light on Earth. In our planet, in Earth, the plants are the best ones on doing this. By photosynthesis, they absorb the information of the sun, they storage its energy and distribute the rays of light. So we have different flowers, different colors in the nature. Coming from the seventh dimension. So our planet is using the energy of the sun in order to create and manifest things. So we would say that we are using the nectar of the sun to create honey. So now let's replicate this shape here. So now look at this, like the light from the seventh dimension, which is also processed by the leaves in the plant by photosynthesis, they create the potential of a flower, time and space. And here around we have the nectar and the bees. The bees are coming to pick up the nectar, and when they do it, they take with them the pollen. And with the pollen, they pollinize the flowers, and with the nectar, they create the honey. So now imagine this. A flower is basically light. The insects see the flowers like we see the light of cities. They can see in ultraviolet light. So a flower in nature that for us is just beautiful, for an insect is like shining like a star. So they are attracted to that shining, and they start to smell the nectar, the sugar, and they want to go to the light. They follow the light, and they are attracted by the perfumes of the light. So they take the nectar, they absorb the elixir with ecstasies, with all the energy that it gives to them. And by doing that, they take the pollen with them, and they start to pollinize all the flowers. And with the nectar, they create the honey. And while they do that, they are pollinizing all forest, creating many other options of flowers, of light, by experience. So now translate this into our human experiences. So in our point of view of humans, we can say that we are looking for light. We are looking for enlightenment. And in order to find enlightenment, we have to drink the nectar. Nectar means death. in Greek, which is nectar is necro. Necro is death. So nectar is the word for death. So in the traditions, in the ancient traditions, they said whoever drinks the sweet death becomes eternal, immortal. So that's why the gods ate only nectar, the sweet death. And by feeling that, by going into that feeling, we are following that light, which is the eternity. So we are attracted by the light of the seventh dimension because the beings in the seventh dimension need to expand in order to feel the pleasure that is the experience. Beings in the seventh dimension, everything is orgasmic. It's so powerful, everything, that they need to expand this orgasm throughout the whole universe. It's like the trees, the plants, the flowers during spring. This is why we are attracted to the powerful of enlightenment, the ecstasis of enlightenment. So when we reach the light, what we do is to make that nectar into the honey, to use this pollen as attributes. So we start to have our gifts. The person that has the gift of music from the very moment of the birth, the writers from the heart, I don't know, any gift that you could possibly imagine in a human is the honey, the crystallization of light, of the nectar. Nuestros dones son la cristalización de la eternidad. Our gifts are the crystallizations of eternity. The divine rays are not something external. They are projecting us. When we understand how a flower works in our world, we can understand how our reality plays in the quantic universe of the seventh dimension. I feel that there is so many things to say that I'd rather be in silence. Let's go step by step with this. So now let's go to study botanics. If you want to enlighten, only ones that we're able to explain you how are the plants. The vibration for today is low. The statement for today is, I am love in all creation. The code for today is to be. The first attribute of the universe is the verb to be. It's the one that gives a sense to existence itself. Everything is part of the same being, of an entity that it is, that expresses from within. This way, the first name of the divine is I am, attribute that makes it be acknowledged as a singularity, the only one, from where everything originates and where everything returns to. At the same time, everything that has developed from it is still a part of a projected body. For everything is, and for that, the greatest attribute is being who you are, without pretending to be someone else. Did you get it? Because I don't know why. I have 1,000,000,000 things more to say. I don't know. I guess that with this you will have a base. It's really late, so I don't know how you do it. Thank you, everybody that is every day here. I guess that as we are going deeper into the higher dimension, the things start to be so complicated. No, so much that it's complicated to just put in a few words in a tiny explanation. So we sit comfortable, close our eyes, and concentrate in the breathing. I take a deep breath, becoming aware of my body and the space I find myself in. I use my imagination to expand the room where I am. The walls, the roof, the floor, all of it expanded towards the infinite, letting myself floating in the center, in the middle of the universal void. I take a deep breath, and I recognize myself as the center of my own world. My things, people, stuff, my thoughts, my feelings, my experiences, all of them around me, creating a sphere from which I am its core. I recognize that this world around me, my own world, is setting all its pressure upon me. All my beliefs, my mind, emotions, my life itself, my history, my relationships, my bounds, attachments, projects and future, my intentions, all of it at the same distance, push towards me, and I feel the pressure of my entire world all over. Take a deep breath and I start to feel how this pressure creates power, strength, energy. The friction starts to create the heat that turns all my body into the fire that ignites, expanding light. I start to feel how this light becomes in colors. The 12 rays of light shine towards every direction, enlightening my world from within, igniting the power of my being. I am light, and it's my light, the one that creates all the things, the one that creates my world. I start to perceive myself blossoming as a flower, a huge and beautiful flower, irradiating all these lights, these rays. Recognizing that in each process of death there is a rebirth, that within me I have the potential of the eternal life. I am the creator of all things. I am the light. I am the life. I am the love. This light that I have is the potential of my gifts, and I use this potential to crystallize, manifest all of them in what I can become in all my beings. I am the love in all creation. I am the seed and the uterus of all creation. I am love in the creation. I am the love in all creation. I am the love in all creation. Elohim Toda. Elohim Toda. Sevayot. Elohim Toda. Anyahai. Uhai. Sehaino. Nuna. Hainu Nea. Tuahim. Mensai Nao. Ada. Take a deep breath. And I expand all this consciousness of light throughout my body, coming back here and now slowly. Thank you everybody for being here as always, and see you tomorrow at the same time.